So we are in record mode, and in a few seconds I will mute everybody. So if you want me to hear you cough, you can still cough. And good to see so many wonderful people. I see the burger as well, and hey, amazing. Wow. Who else? We got a lot of nice people here tonight. Okay. Wow, we got 2 pages full. I'm not Mashiach. That's no way. I didn't come here to reveal that I was told Mashiach's coming. So that's not what I'm about to share with everyone. Okay. So Baruch Hashem, beautiful crowd. I'm muting everyone, and we'll start my remarks. Okay. So welcome everyone. It's so nice to see everybody arrayed on this wonderful display of members, even though, Baruch Hashem, we still look forward to seeing more people, but this is really remarkable. And I just want to start off by saying, I miss you all. And many of us haven't seen each other, maybe a glimpse here or there on the Zoom, but I haven't bumped into anyone because I don't go out much, and only the people who come back to shul. And I hope everyone's well and thriving and staying healthy and continuing to stay that way and being careful and vigilant. And I look forward, hopefully, to more and more we'll be able to see each other. So the big event, and what I'd like to talk about, is this coming Shabbos. As I alluded to, this Shabbos is our anniversary. We started this magnificent institution known as Ayom Moshe, the tent of Moshe, which so many wonderful people have entered the tent and warmed the tent and inspired the tent over the last 13 years. This is our Bar Mitzvah year. And, our neighbors next door, the Hartsteins, Binyamin and Batsheva Hartstein, they have a bumper sticker on their car. I notice it every day when I come, and it hits me. As you grow older, it hits, these things catch your eye more. And the bumper sticker says, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is an option. So as we go forward, you realize, well, 13 years, maybe it's not a lot in the length of a lifetime, but it is pretty long in terms of a shul. Many years, so much has happened over those 13 years. We've come so far, and we still want to continue to go far. So although we grow old, it's mandatory. We have no choice. But hopefully, over these 13 years, we certainly grew up. And I just reminisce a bit over the years of, how much has transpired and how we started off in such a fledgling group. And then we burgeoned into such a beautiful tzibur and continue to grow, even though we're losing some members, not losing some members. Some of our members, as part of the Kibbutz Galuyos, are going to Eretz Yisrael, some are traveling elsewhere, but we have created bonds that will remain bonds forever. And I just think back about, the simchas that we celebrated together, the challenges that we faced together, the grieving that we grieved together, members who are no longer here, but yet we shared in those families and in that tzaros and in this happiness, and supporting each other, learning Yom Tovim, just a rush of so many beautiful memories over so many years. Some of you have been here longer, some less, but all come along the same wave that envelops all of us, the beautiful entity known as Ayom Moshe, and the warmth and the special quality of the people who belong to it and the relationship we have with one another. So, a bar mitzvah is at the age of 13. So, they get at 13 and, you have to start reflecting, where you came from, where you're heading. And it's interesting, the word 13, the number 13 has 2 numerical values that's popular. Ava is love, and echad is also gematria 13. And really, when a bar mitzvah boy gets up, and a bar mitzvah shul is a bar mitzvah, we look back at, how you got there. Bar mitzvah boy always talks about the parents and the family and the friends that brought him to that day. And I reach out and I say the same to all of us, that, we're family and we're friends and we're everything else in between. And, it's that ava, that camaraderie, and that real concern one for the other. And certainly it's shown itself over these very challenging months. And that's the ava that we look back and warms us and encourages us to go forward to the echad, which represents also the 13, that there's a purpose. It's Avodas Hashem. It's a common purpose that we all share. And we all want to grow. We have grown. We want to continue to grow. And we want, hopefully, Hashem shall look kindly on us and allow us to come together and in one room and celebrate and daven and inspire each other together. But unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity. But it doesn't mean that we're not echad. We just don't have the physical echad. But the idea is that we are unified and we are connected. So in that light, what we have to do, we can't really celebrate a Kiddush in any meaningful way because we happen to be from the shuls that have maintained some vigilance in the davening outside and still being careful and separation, and very proudly so. And I hope that everyone is pleased with that, even though some would rather inside only, some outside. But we're trying to be a family and accommodate everyone in their needs. And Baruch Hashem, but it's hard to get everyone in together at one time. So I want to make two appeals, actually three appeals. The first appeal is that this Shabbos, to really make an effort. I mean, obviously, if you feel it's a danger to come, even though we have the minyan outside, I wouldn't tell anyone to jeopardize anything. But everyone, even though we can't all be in one time, but hopefully we're trying to resurrect the 7 o'clock minyan, we'll have an 8 o'clock minyan, 8:30 minyan, and to resurrect and have people come and join as much as we can with the limited space that we have. But I think if we manage to get 3 million and people sign up and make a little extra effort to show celebration, the family comes together and we come together and celebrate and show how we're connected, could be a tremendous chizuk for all of us. And hopefully a message to Hashem, how we desperately want to return to the connection that we have and return to that and continue. Hashem should bring us back. And of course, I must admit, and to no offense to anyone on this page, although some of the kids are on the page, I must say I miss the children the most. And it's because the children reflect the beauty of everything that we represent as adults, and friendships, and seeing the children is just the beautiful blossoming expression of that. And in that light, what I suggested we do, and hopefully everyone will join in, and hopefully God will bless us with nice weather, that between the hours of 4 and 6 on Shabbos afternoon, there'll be a sign-up sheet. And every family will sign up. There's every 15 minutes, I think 10 families. So we'll be able to accommodate the vast number of families in the shul. And everyone should pick a slot to come, Noshim, Anoshim, V'taf. And the Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to celebrate the Bar Mitzvah by giving out peklach. My greatest loss over these months, I can't give lollipops. And we're going to give more than a lollipop. We're going to give a pekala, a nice pekala for every single child. Come with your children. It's later in the afternoon. We figured it would be cooler maybe between 4 and 6 rather than do it early in the morning after the davening. Everyone should come to really make an effort. And again, we won't be able to see each other all at one time, but some level of a parade of the love that we have for each other, to be able to express it. I would appreciate it. It would mean so much to me, and I hope it'll mean in return to all of you. And even if you don't have kids and your kids are overgrown, you could come. I'll give you a peckle or two, or we'll just wish each other from the distance. We'll keep a safe distance, but hopefully we'll be able to create a celebration and remind ourselves of what we're all about and reconnect, so that Hashem will give us the wherewithal to go forward. So that's what I'd like everyone to try to attend one of the minyanim. So maybe we'll even have aliyahs. We'll see if we'll see if it comes out before the Shabbos, a divider, so people can come up for aliyahs, and we can parcel out aliyahs, hopefully. If not, we'll just do it the regular way. And also, we're going to have a donation page. We're obviously spending some monies to make a nice peklach. I'm also going to give out a memento, a little memento. You'll see when you get a Mitzvah Hashem of our Bar Mitzvah year, Bar Mitzvah memento for everybody, every family. And again, the shul needs support. We've had so many months of no real regular income that comes from Yom Tovim and the Shabbosim. And although we thank everyone who's pitched in, really made a difference and really helping us be able to maintain what we have to do. But in this special occasion, we're trying to get sponsorships, those who can, different levels of sponsorship from $18 until we'll take $1 million and plus, whatever you want to give. And whatever you give, it's just being mishtadef in our simcha and connecting one another and going forward in the great mission that we've accomplished until now, And we'll go, l'Torah, l'chuppah, l'ma'asim tovim. We'll continue to go, from Torah to chuppah to ma'asim tovim, to continue to do good things and celebrate simchas and celebrations of our children, accomplishments, and the good deeds that we all do together. And I can't tell you how much I miss, I'm sure it's mutual, how much I miss the camaraderie and the warmth and the smiles and just the jokes and just the warmth that we give one another, the support we give one another, that which makes us so special as a warm and inviting community, and the inability for when guests come. It's just so sad that what's so beautiful about our shul is we don't have the opportunity to do it that often, hopefully soon, but at least together we can recalibrate and reconnect in a way that we should remember what we've done, where we're going, and the greatness of each one of you, and how we're such a beautiful tzibur. May we all, this Shabbos, celebrate Abba Mitzvah with a family, and hopefully everyone will join in, and that's my appeal, and that's what I wanted. So now I said for the next, now that I have a captivated audience, and we've been doing, for those, many of you have been coming every day during Dvar Chizuk. It's numbered, I don't even know, 50, 60, 70, I don't know how many we've had already. Baruch Hashem, I hope it's been inspiring, but I can tell you from my end, it's been inspiring to be able to have to every day come up with something interesting, clever, insightful, and it's stimulating for me, and I hope that it's stimulating for others. But I decided that over the next few weeks, during the weeks of the 3 weeks through Tisha B'Av, obviously we know that the call of the hour is Avas Chinam. The Beis Hamikdash was destroyed because of Sinas Chinam. The Gemara says the first one was the 3 terrible Averos. The second one was Sinas Chinam, and that was much worse because the first one got back. The second one was still desperate to get it back. So in the spirit of trying to recreate and dissipate and diminish the Sinas Chinam that so often separates us and destroys relationships, and talk about Avos Chinam, I came across a pamphlet, actually. I was reading an article and someone made a reference, and I was reading a newspaper, and there was a letter to the editor, and the guy said there was a pamphlet that was produced in Camp Aguda in 2016, and it's on the topic of Leisainu, the prohibition of hurting a fellow Yid with words. I know it's Dvarim. It's the harm that we inflict on others, and often it's the people who are closest to us. We say one word, just one word, incorrectly, and the pain that it can inflict on a person for their lifetime. There's a famous saying, we all grew up with it. Sticks and stones can break our bones, but names will never harm me. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Sticks and stones may break bones, but you can repair them. But names and caustic words are sometimes irreparable. The damage that a person does by saying one word, by saying one unkind word, especially at the wrong time, in a sensitive time, can destroy someone. The opposite is also true. One word could elevate someone for the rest of their life. And, it's Zelu Mazeh, but the harshness of words, and sometimes we lash out and we say things that are so harmful that, and the repercussions, we don't even know beyond it. I'm just going to start off, so it's late, but the pamphlet is full of very interesting. I'm going to share it with you. Hashem, we'll learn through the next few weeks. So I just want to start off with just, obviously we'll talk more detail because it's getting late, and this is just an introduction. Hopefully we'll see everyone will come. Usually it'll be 20 minutes usually every day from 8 now till 8:20, because Mincha is 8:20. So we'll have 20 minutes to learn some of these and share some stories and some insights. And I believe even our children, if they join, they'll be able to learn something from it. So in the beginning of the book, they bring a story. They start off with just a story about some fellow whose wife couldn't get pregnant. Years were going by. Then suddenly she had some sort of a nerve disease on her face. And they started making cheshbon nefesh, and they started thinking back, what is it that maybe something in the past that, and finally the guy remembered at some point when he was a bacher in yeshiva, he had gotten to a fight with another bacher when he was probably 18 or 19. He wasn't that old. And they fought over something so stupid as a double. And someone said one word, the other one said the other word. And he was going back to try, and he said, remember, there's something I must have insulted him. It was 25 years earlier. And he finally tracked down this guy, and he thought for sure the guy would be Michael him. He calls him up, and he says, I'm so-and-so. You probably don't remember me, but I want to speak with you. And he says, I have no interest in talking to you. 25 years later, he was still upset. He says, you remember me after 25 years? He says, I remember you like today. He says, I must come to see you. He says, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your face. He says, why? What do you mean, why? When you responded to me, you said something so harsh. He didn't say what it was, but I still carry it in my heart. The scar is still here. 25 years later, he couldn't forgive him. He begged him, and he finally, and the guy told him a good line. He said, when it comes to insulting someone, there's no statute of limitations. There's no statute of limitations. And he begged him to come. He finally came. He brought his wife with him. He told him the whole story. His wife was suffering and all that. Finally, he was mechlim. And the story goes that, Baruch Hashem, things turned around for him as mazel. And that's true. You say one word, you don't know the repercussions. We'll talk to Hashem tomorrow about how even when you do it unintentionally, even if you do it by accident, even if you didn't mean it, and even if you meant good, but you hurt someone's feelings, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I just want to go over on a positive note, because the same is true when you say something kind. You could say one word, and it changes a person's life forever. There was a recent story that was told about a woman who was at some sort of a retreat, a woman's retreat. And the speakers asked the attendees, and they said, when did you first identify your Jewishness and the sense that, you were special and you wanted to be part of Yiddishkeit? And one of the women's name was Denise, and she didn't realize it herself, but she was contemplating, and she remembered, and she tells over the following story. She got up and she said, I grew up as an only child raised by a divorced single mother who struggled financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And the only place I had respite was in school. That was like where I went to have at least some enjoyment in life. And she remembers one teacher, I don't know who it is, Rabbi Beryl Moskowitz, he may be still alive, I don't know, in Hebrew school. She never met anyone again. She wasn't religious at the time. He was an Orthodox man, but he was kind, warm, and wise, and funny. And she says she still remembers, and he says she doesn't remember the circumstances, but she remembered one thing. He said one thing that changed her life, that she carried with her entire life. Once in a class, he referred to her, must have been some circumstance, and he said, Denise is a mensch. And the kids in the class didn't know what a mensch is. They didn't know Yiddish. So he went on to explain the term to his students, and then they understood what she meant. And Denise understood what she had to live up to. I knew at that moment that he had lit a way to a healthier life. So when the rabbi at the women's retreat asked her about her identity, she heard herself saying aloud, I have lived my life being sure my dear Rabbi Moskowitz's words were true. I have led a life of kindness, thoughtful, and spiritual life. I have raised 3 sons and have to date a 39-year marriage. Way back when, an afternoon Hebrew school teacher told a student in the class that she is a mensch. She's been living with that designation ever since. One kind word can literally change the direction of someone's life. There are many stories where one unkind word had destroyed people, driven them to suicide, and it's not an understatement. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but names can destroy a person forever. And the Gemara says that there's one gateway. We talk about the Churban. So the Churban Abai has destroyed a lot of access that we have to God, but there's one access to God that's not closed, and that's when someone is hurt by painful words. And Hashem says, the Sharia know, those who feel hurt and pain from harsh words, their prayers go straight up. And that's the only one that the Beis Hamikdash has been destroyed, but people in pain are so hurt, and their words are so powerful, the tefillas that Hashem responds. We have to be so careful. And in the next few weeks, hopefully, we'll go every day, slowly, some eitzes, some ideas, some little stories, and we'll see that, as we talk about it, and we're more focused and more trained in thinking before we talk, hopefully we'll be elevate our words, our actions, our thoughts, and transform ourselves into kind human beings. Because I think we're all kind, but sometimes we just get upset and we react and we feel cheated and we feel not validated, and then we react and we leash out. and we leash out a poison that sometimes can't be retrieved. So, Amit Hashem, the next few weeks we'll be learning of 8 to 8:20. I again remind everyone that Amit Hashem, we're going to celebrate the Shabbos. We'll see how many people we can see. I'll be here, so hopefully see everybody who comes through, and because we can't have everyone on time. But everyone, a tour de force, a show of force of what we are. Remember the greatness and the warmth and the friendship that we have. Never to forget that and reignite that warmth over the Shabbos. And the kids. Let's get them excited about what we strive for, why we come here. Amit Hashem, we'll celebrate the Bar Mitzvah, we'll throw Peklach, and Amit Hashem will bring us much blessing and health, continued good health, so you continue to do the good things that we do. I'm going to sign over because it's already Mincha time. I hope I'm not rained out because I see the rain, it looks like it stopped. So thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. And Mit Hashem, I hope to see you all tomorrow as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really great. I wish I can call out every single one. There's not enough time. Kulam Ahuva and Kulam Brurim. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to continue to connect on at least on Zoom and hopefully Mit Hashem the Shabbos to be able to see every single one of you. Look forward to you and your children and or grandchildren, whatever it may be. And Mit Hashem will be a great Shabbos, great celebration. Thank you. Thank you so much. All the best. A good night.